Captain Eddie Rickenbacker was America's ace of aces in World War I. He flew the Nieuport and Spad fighters in France. He was the first commander of the 94th Squadron, and he put his own hat on the ring emblem on all his planes, and we use that today. In 1967, the squadron held a grand reunion and reception for him at Selfridge Air Force Base in Michigan. On the morning before the reception, we had a breakfast in his honor in the squadron dining room. We had only fighter pilots there, although a couple of colonels weaseled their way in. And after breakfast, we asked him to say some words to us. He stood up and began to talk to us about America in the space age. I got up and stopped him and I said, "Captain Eddie, we're just fighter pilots here. We really don't want to hear about the space age. We really want to hear one of your stories about shooting down a German plane in World War I. Captain Eddie paused. He says, "Major, how long would it take you to get warning, take off, shoot down an enemy airplane, and get back on the ground under ideal conditions?" I said, "Well, Captain Eddie, it would take us 2 minutes to get off the ground, take us about 5 or 10 minutes to find the enemy airplane and shoot him down, another 10 minutes to get down on the ground. It'd take us about 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour." He held up his hands. He said, 5 minutes. I said, "Okay, Captain Eddie, how did you do it?" He said, we had started out with French Nieuport airplanes, but they didn't have any guns. So there was nothing we could do but fly training missions. Well, we were close to the front, and every morning just at daybreak, a German photo recon plane would fly over, take pictures of us, and make a right turn and fly back to Germany. One afternoon, a couple of trucks arrived with machine guns for our Nieuports. We immediately got to work with our crew chiefs, and we installed the guns, and they had to be fired through the propellers. It was a synchronized gun that fired between the propeller blades. So we had to run the engines and fire the guns and target them in, zoom them in on the targets. And we got that. It took all night, and it was just dawn when I had it done, and I was sitting there with my engine ticking over. I was tired out, and I heard the air raid siren. I looked over my shoulder, and here came the German observation plane. I just poured the coal to the engine and took off underneath him. He didn't see me. I knew he was going to turn to the right. So I faded him a little bit to the right, and when he turned to the right, I pulled up and shot him down and turned around, continued my turn, and landed, and logged just 5 minutes of flying time. I said, "Captain Eddie, that must be a record." This story is available on page 37 of my book, The Spirit of Attack.